Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode of The Testing Room, where three of the gaming industry's best video game consultants who have never actually consulted on a video game bring you new topics each and every week. As always, I'm Alex, aka The Godfather.
I'm Christian, aka Sudobudu45.
I'm Preston,
Mr. Yanni
AKA,
Pants.
I know.
I know.
I feel you. I'm right there with you. Preston, aka Funkadelic Jedi.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So we have some fun things for you this week. We have some what we did. Of course, we have Press's Comment Corner, and then later this week we have part 3 of our video game book club for Tomb Raider Remastered. We'll get to that later. But yeah, as we typically do, let's dive into Preston's Comment Corner and see what's happening over there.
Okay, well, we're going to the Nickelback Comment Corner from last week's discussion.
Boy.
Got 2 comments. First one is from the homie Damien. Number 1, I'm not a huge Nickelback fan, but I did like Silver Side Up and Long Road, in paren, young kid nostalgia speaking. No denying their production has always been top notch. That being said, I've always felt I know why that band got such hate. Back in the day, Chad was such a POS in interviews. Even Peoria's local radio re-aired clips from Chad when he came to town. And I think that ruined their reputation, and that's where the momentum to hate them came from. Anyway.
That is interesting. I would love to hear more, because I don't know anything about Chad Kroeger being a douchebag. I think he was an alcoholic maybe at one point. But I didn't know he was such an asshole in interviews, and I
didn't know that either, but that isn't,
Checks out.
I'd love to know what he said about Peoria that made them so angry. That
It's probably not
saying,
about Peoria, it's probably the interview he had.
Yeah, he
in
was just
Peoria.
saying he was a dick to our local radio station. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that'd be interesting. All right.
Number
That's
2,
funny.
be coming up this weekend to hang out with my brother. So excited for that. Yep, he's going to come down and hang out with Christian 4th of July weekend. And then number 3, so boys, I just started Horizon Zero Dawn and am loving it. Without spoilers, any tips for me as I get into the game to help my journey? No, you guys.
I
can do
am
it.
not
So,
the right
hold on.
person to give tips on this.
Really
because
quick.
Yeah.
This was so funny. So, anytime that Damien will have like an idea, like a thought, he will always be like, "Hey, do you think that I should comment this, or like, is it not even worth it?" And he said the same thing to Preston the last time we all hung out during Memorial Day, and Preston told him the same thing that I've always told, which is, "Yeah, of course. Like, it's just,
totally.
it's the fucking internet, dude. Just let it rip. Who gives a fuck? Like, we'll talk about whatever."
It is just yelling into the void anyway. So
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah, and so it doesn't really. Yeah, and so he did the same thing, and he was like, "Yeah." The other day, he was like, "I was thinking about commenting this thing about Horizon Zero Dawn, but I don't know. Do you think that would be like a thing?" And I was like, "Yes,
Yes,
dude.
we're a video game podcast.
Yes.
I'm more than happy to talk.
And I
about
was like,
games.
and if you end up coming down for July 4th, I was like, I'll tell Preston about it. And then when he sees you, he'll tell you the same thing. I was like, and if you don't comment this, I'm going to say something about it. And then he'll know that you didn't comment it.
Be mad.
And then he's going to check you when he sees you. He was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. He's like, sometimes I just feel like it might be a dumb question. I was like, this is just not real. So
No, you're fine.
yes. But for Horizon Zero Dawn, yes, I as far as like tips, I don't know.
There's certain things that you would have wished you knew earlier when you started it, or
Yeah, I would say like don't worry. Only do the side stuff, especially this goes for the second one too, but only do the side stuff that actually like grabs you or interests you. That game has like a scaling power curve, so it doesn't ever, like, you're never going to get to a point where you can't finish the game, or that you have to go do something to like get extra gear or do anything to be able to take any of the stuff on. So like you're always going to be good to take on whatever is in front of you. So don't ever feel like you need to go and do all of the random bullshit quests that are in that game. Like, there's a lot of good side quests, but there's a lot of garbage ones too. And so only do the ones that you feel like interested in and save yourself some time. Because if you go for a full map scrape 100% complete, that game can be like really fucking long.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, I'm probably the wrong person to ask that to, because I was in my Maniac phase during that where I was 100%ing everything, and I did platinum that game and did everything, and it was way too long.
Did, I think.
It was probably around the same time you guys were having the
much.
competition, yeah.
It probably was when we were having the competition and we were doing that. So yeah, it's too much, and you're right. Like there are some bad side quests along with some good ones, and if you end up map scraping that, you're just gonna get let down by the end of it. Like you're just gonna be, it takes away a little bit. So just just go through and hey, if it were me, if I were doing it again, I would probably mainline the story for the most part, and then mainline the second game as well. Because it seems like they tell an okay story and a cohesive story without some of the side mission fluff. So
I would say the second one there are side quests in it that I think are genuinely... I think the second one's like a better game all overall. So, yeah. I would recommend them both, though. I think the story for both is very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, I've never played it, so...
I'm surprised you never played those games, but
I think I dabbled a little bit, but I didn't commit to it. Yeah, I mean, one of these days is 8. This is one of these rainy day games where it's like, one of these like, yeah, I'm gonna start getting to Horizon. I'm like, I just played through both of those in like 5 months. It's great.
I haven't played the second one, to be fair. Yeah. I wanted to, because when they released it, the concept looked dope. I just
put it on the wish list on Steam.
If you take your Rebirth approach, you will get right through that game, no problem.
Sure. Yeah. Not too worried about it. Yeah, plenty of games to play. All right, second comment. So I'm Jake. I'm not a mega Nickelback fan. I love how both these comments start off just like making sure that they let us know that they were not fans of Nickelback. But I do have several songs that I think are genuinely really good. Plus, I respect the production value, as Damien just mentioned, which is funny because he saw his comment, I guess. As well as them putting on a good show and sounding the same as they do in the studio. My favorite songs are Someone That You're With and Feeling Way Too Damn Good, so Alex can listen. I only brought this up because the discussion about the band was teetering past they're just not for me and into poking fun. You can find a band in every genre where all the songs sound alike. I don't listen to them much anymore, but I used to. For years, my tastes have swan dived into pop punk, a genre that Christian absolutely makes fun of. Alex and I for liking. Love you all.
Not true. Point of correction.
You make fun of Alex.
Yes, that's very true.
Jake.
I have never once made fun of Jake at all. And secondly, I only do it when Alex is being hoity-toity about whatever band it is that he's talking about, because he needs to be brought back down to reality.
Which is usually like Slipknot or Mudvayne or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, so. Yes. Bands that he makes me defend that I don't want to, only because, again, you need to be brought back down to reality about the pop-punk genre.
Sometimes it's fun to hear Christian remember where he came from and really stand for those bands that were big in Peoria. So that
is true. I do think, I gotta say, I do love that in your brain Slipknot has this crazy association to Peoria that does not exist, by the way.
No, I'm sure it doesn't. But like when you have the legends that are Mudvayne, I'm sure that there's a huge overlap on the Venn diagram of who listens.
That's true. Yes, that is very true. That is almost a complete circle. I would be willing to bet that fans of. If you're fans of one of those bands, you're probably a fan of another one. Yeah, I mean, it was all around the same time where people, they're doing the whole face makeup thing and all that. Anyways, yes, I have never once made fun of Jake for his music taste. I was just thinking about... Preston, what was the... Oh, right, I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember as far as... somebody making fun of music, but it was when the guy from Incubus was White Jesus in
Reservation Dogs.
Brandon
Dogs.
Boyd. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jake in this group chat between Preston and I might have been the D&D chat actually. Alex, you might have been in it too. Where he called him the lead singer from Stinkubus, and I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And he immediately, Preston was like, "What the fuck?" And then Jake had to like backpedal me. He's like, "Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. I love them. Don't worry about it."
Incubus is great.
Incubus is on tour. They're on tour right now with Coheed and Cambria, and I bet you
That's a good show.
in general is killer.
That'd be a good show.
Yeah.
Kind of want to see that.
Yeah.
I think I might go see that.
That's funny. We were at Epcot in Disney a few weeks back, and for those that aren't familiar, Epcot is like the Disney park that has all the countries in it. So it's like the circle of countries, and one of them is Canada. And we were walking to a ride or something, and the Canadian like band. There's a big stage there. A few countries play music. And there was like a live band, and they were just bouncing back and forth between like Avril Lavigne covers and Nickelback covers, and it was so funny. So
The unfortunate thing there is that you're just like, "Yep, that's what Canada has to offer." Apparently, and you're like, "Oh god."
There's probably many other good bands or people from Canada who have.
That's
made
what I'm
bands.
saying.
I'm sure.
Actually, I don't know. I mean, I'm
have
not
to
saying
look
there's
it
not, but I'm saying off the top of my head, I don't know any.
No, I can name more
Those
actors
are-
and
I-
comedians than I can bands. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Other than
funny.
that, that's the comment corner.
All right.
Stand me down.
Well,
Oh
let's
shit!
get into
Rush is from Canada.
all right, Rush.
Oh,
Rush. Bare Naked Ladies is from Canada.
that doesn't surprise me.
That one,
honestly.
that one I actually knew. Yeah, that one tracks.
Yeah.
They seem very
Makes
Canadian.
sense.
Huh.
On Community. There's a long running bit where people bring up like Bare Naked Ladies, and at one point Jeff gets pissed off, and he was like, "Why does everybody talk about them like they're some gift to music?" And they're like, "Are you talking about multi-Grammy winning Bare Naked Ladies?
Yeah.
Put some respect on that name."
Yes, I do remember that. Well, dude, just pick those two bands. That'd have been better than the other
Yeah.
two. You just play one Rush song and it lasts the whole day. Everybody's there.
That is true. You could just do like one album in your set.
Just do
right?
YYZ and then it starts, and then by the time the park closes, it ends.
All right, let's get to our weeks. Who wants to kick things off?
I can go first. I got a short one.
Okay.
Okay, very little Cyberpunk. We recorded last Thursday. It's now Tuesday. So a little bit of time I had, I was actually doing something else. Late at night, I did finally put the money down for it. Shotgun Cop Man. I just wanted some quick, like, hey, I just want to go through
I
levels.
saw that pop up on the Steam library.
Yeah,
I
and
did
if-
not see that.
So if
Weird.
you ever get the wild hair and you want some like super Meat Boy action, but the only way to jump is to shoot, it's a lot of fun. So I was having a lot of fun with that. It's like 9 stages with a bunch of levels in there, and I think I'm on stage levels chapter whatever the 3rd island I'm on, going through like
Yeah.
a dozen or more levels. But it's a lot of fun. Having a great time with it. I know I talked enough about it on when I played the demo. And then it just went on Steam sale for like a couple bucks. It's only like a $10 game. It's like, hey, it's on sale for
Dude,
like $7. I'm like, sure, fucking why not? I had fun.
This summer sale, every year, these summer sales
They always
make the
get you.
most random shit pop up on our Steam family library. Like, I don't know. I think I purchased this. If not, it's sitting in my cart. But RoboCop.
Oh,
Is
the
RoboCop.
new one? Yeah.
Oh, sure.
First person one?
It
Yeah.
it was on sale. That'll be a book club game. Because it
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, and I don't know, Preston. I'm sure you watched RoboCop.
Yeah.
Right. Like I same. Like one of the classic. I was gonna ask Christian. Were you in?
Christian
like,
doesn't watch movies.
Did you? You
No,
don't
but
watch
back then I
movies.
did because I didn't. It
Everyone's
doesn't matter.
seen
I'm not going to
RoboCop,
get into
that's
that. Well, she.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen RoboCop.
Okay. Well, and so it looked interesting. And I picked it up. It'll be one later on because
Sure.
it'll have a fun little story and it looked very 80s. But anyway, to that point. Yes, I've just seen like over the summer sale just the most random games because that was like $3. I was like, yeah, I can
Yeah,
buy that.
exactly.
And then
That's
the
what
one
I
game's
do.
fun.
Yeah. $3-5.
I can
you'll probably get
explain-
me by it.
So there's a lot of movies that I have seen. I've seen a fuck ton of movies, but most of them were viewed, or all the movies that I have like whatever knowledge about would be anything that was made from 2007 and then back.
Okay.
And that's because, and Alex, you'll know this, early World of Warcraft days.
Oh, sure.
You're
Yeah.
just sitting there,
Yeah.
grinding away, doing monotonous tasks. So, and this is also like a 90s, early 2000s thing, but there wasn't like today, like the three of us have our computers like separate like at a desk in an office space, whatever. We've moved it around, whatever. It's by its own thing. Back in the day, it was a family computer. Everybody had to use that thing, and so it was usually somewhere near a living room or a TV or something like that. So your boy would just sit there and grind out the things he had to grind out, and I had TNT on next to me, which plays no less than 5 or 6 movies a day. And so it would just play, and I would just be like, oh, cool, sick, whatever movie this is, and then I would watch it, and then that would be the thing. It's how I saw every Steven Seagal movie. Because it was at the end of, I remember this so vividly. It was at the end of Burning Crusade, and so you're trying to get to 70, and Alex, you'll remember specifically that grind was a hell of a grind.
It was bad.
It took long enough that as I was playing, TNT was like, okay, now we're starting our Steven Seagal marathon where we're playing all the Steven Seagal movies just back to back to back to back to back. And I was like, right on. And that was it. And so I saw all of them in my time from like 65 to 70. So, yeah.
Surprises me.
That's a long way to say, yes, I've seen RoboCop, and I've seen any other movie that we all would have grown up with.
Well, you say that, but I found out one that surprised me this past week or so, because I was wanting to go see another movie, and I found out that you haven't even seen the original one. Christian has not seen 28 Days Later.
That
was big for like our generation around that time.
Did we?
Yes.
Did we talk about this last week? No. Did we?
No.
No. Well, because I remember bringing up Sunshine for something. It must not have been in context.
No, we didn't do.
It must not have been in context of this. No. You've never seen 28 Days Later.
It's
interesting.
Great. I'm gonna make him watch it when it's nice.
So to be fair, Allie hasn't seen it either, and it is very dated in its because it's kind of like a handy cam, very grainy.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it is dated. So I know Allie's gonna hate it when we watch it. She'll probably like 28 Weeks and stuff better. But it's still Danny Boyle.
So 28 Days Later is one of my favorites.
Such a good movie.
Me not seeing that is very specific, and I can explain that.
Nope.
Okay. Now, before I get into this is not. I don't need anybody to get all revved up. All right. I don't have this feeling now, but back then I did. In general, I'm kind of selective. In general about like horror movies that I want to go see in general, right? Like, but besides that, back then, anything that had to do with like zombies or anything like that,
that's kind of the big thing.
I was like, that's lame. I don't want to watch that. Like, it's now.
To be fair, it's not
this is the movie that changed that. Like this
Correct.
is like fast, terrifying zombies.
I'm being very clear. I don't have that opinion now, but
back then it was like zombie overload for sure. I understand.
It was just all the time, and it was that, and then there was The Walking Dead, and there was everything else that came, and all of that stuff. I was just like,
done.
No thanks. That's fucking lame. I don't want that. Give me more, whatever. Whether that was. Like, if I was very, like, a hoity-toity Alien fan, so I wanted more better Alien stuff that we weren't getting.
Sure.
The same thing with, anything else. But either way...
So
I've just never went back since I have not held that opinion. I did talk about this, though, the other day, where this newest one, it's they're at 28 years later now?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is just a personal opinion, so, whatever. But I personally think that trailer for that movie might be one of the best, if not the best, horror movie trailer I've ever seen.
From what everybody is saying, they're kind of like, hey, the first movie redefined a genre because you got these like fast, kind of intelligent zombies. It was different from the time. And 28 weeks later was like,
and it's not really
it
like a
was
zombie
good, but
thing,
different.
right? It's like a virus that makes you angry or something, right?
It's a virus, yeah. But everybody kind of says like this one is kind of redefining that genre again.
So,
it's getting high praise.
Steph does not agree, which is why I didn't go see it. Because I'm like, I'll just wait for it. Because Christian, like, he wasn't like super into the movie, and he's in the first one. So I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, like if Steph says that she thought it was kind of lame, I'm like, I'll just wait for it to be on streaming and I'll watch it then. But yeah, that was the only thing I've heard about the movie, and it was from her. So
interesting. It has gotten high praise. I'll have to check it out.
I'll still watch it.
Christian, it's interesting because it's unique in the fact that it is very British, right? Like we here in the U.S. oftentimes like. I don't know. This is probably going out on a limb to say like we kind of pioneer that genre. I don't know. Other countries probably had their own versions, but like we don't really see zombie movies from another perspective of another country. So the fact that this one's taking place in Britain and it's all locked down, military's taken over,
that's
stuff
true.
like it is unique in that sense too, which is interesting. But
yeah. I don't know. I there was it was press. What was the last movie? No, it was during Nikki 13, right?
Mickey 13, yeah.
Mickey 13, thank you.
No.
I think that trailer that trailer dropped, or not I should say dropped, but it was one of the trailers in front of that movie.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
Right.
And I remember even I think I said it when you and I went to go see that, but it's like the song, the backing track that they use in the back of that trailer
like
is
the radio going through, and
yeah, dude, like it gets like such a feeling going, like watching the rest of that trailer and everything like that I think is really hard to capture, especially in a genre that I generally don't like, mostly outside, like for the campy stuff. Like it's very hard for me to like go and. Because it's such like a fine line, which is funny because I'm not like this with games where like any horror game I'm like yeah give it up, but like with movies and stuff it has to nail this like specific thing for me where like it doesn't lean too far into the campy stuff, because then I just think it's like, okay, you just wanted an excuse to show a bunch of like body horror and gore or whatever, that I'm like, whatever, that's not that good to me. And then the other side of it is like, there are certain subject matters where I'm like, no thanks, that's an actual fear, and I don't want to go see that. Like,
zombie things typically don't do it for me either, to be fair. So I understand where you're coming from.
And that lends to the more campy thing. Like what was one? Like my sister loves Alex. I think we talked about this before. It's like the horror movie where like a goat gets possessed and then calls somebody a bitch. It's like The Conjuring or something like
something
that.
hell. It's God, fuck it. It's the guy who did the latest Doctor Strange movie, Drag Me to Hell.
Got it. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my sister was watching that one day, and she's like, "Oh, I love this horror movie." Blah blah blah. And I saw that scene. I was like, "This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen."
I like it.
Right.
It's a Raimi movie. It's a Sam Raimi movie. It's gonna be cheeky and weird. It's gonna have goofy stuff happening, like the goat talking. Like it's just. But like there's a whole one that I talk about all the time with the bloods, the nosebleed scene, to where she's essentially like actress has like a hose hooked up to her nose, and she's at the bank and just spraying blood everywhere, like a horrible.
Yeah.
Raimi did Living Dead, yeah?
No, he did Army of Darkness and Evil Dead.
Army of Darkness, yeah. I say Night of Living Dead and stuff is like that too. It's very campy.
Yeah,
and I feel the same way about
the
like,
more they get, the newer they get too, they get more campy too.
Like the Saw movies or like the Final Destination, like all of those things.
I still stand by Saw 1 as one of the best horror movies ever, and after Saw 1,
I'll leave that one. I'll leave that one out of it. Yeah, I usually put that qualifier.
Yes,
I do leave that one off of it because I think Saw 1 is certainly an achievement, but anything after that and like all the Final Destination, like just campy stuff like that, where I'm just like, all right, yeah, I get it. You just wanted an excuse to like show the craziest ways that you could fucking explode somebody. It's like the same level like Mortal Kombat fatalities where you're like, okie dokie, I guess. Like
it's the same. It's the same thing with those. I don't know. I forget the name of the movies, but that new one with the creepy clown with the big smile who's everywhere.
It.
No, not it. It's the other one. The like real gross smile. It's kind of like black and serial killer. I'd have to look it up, but
is it called Smile?
No. Somebody look up while I'm talking about it. Somebody look up just creepy clown in black and white suit like murderer. It's the newer movies that have come out. There's 2 or 3 of them.
I don't know. I remember seeing this trailer, but I don't know the name.
Stephen
But
King's
I know what you
It?
mean.
No, black and white. You said never mind.
Black and white. It's not it. That thing's everywhere too, and it's very popular right now. And Allie and I went and watched the first movie, and the clown is just a serial killer. He doesn't talk the entire time.
Terrifier.
And yes, yeah. At one part in the movie, he hangs a woman upside down naked, like from like almost in like a spread eagle sort of thing, and takes a chainsaw and cuts her down the middle. And like it's so over the top, it's not scary, and it's so over the top, it's not even gross because you're like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But then you sit there and you go, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like it's because it's so just like.
It's just like with all like the Jason and all those kind of movies. It's like how can we do different kills and deaths? We're gonna show some titties.
But like,
that'll be
I like old slasher films because there's a little bit more. There is the slimmest margin of a story with like Jason's mom was the actual Jason and stuff like that, and like and those were their own entities, and like Halloween had like the shape, right, that's always coming after you.
Nightmare movies with Freddy Krueger.
The slimmest movie, but like some of these newer ones where it's like the zombies or the Terrifier, there's no story. I mean, there's really not in Terrifier because the antagonist, the bad guy, he never talks. So he sees a couple of girls at a pizza place. They are kind of rude to him. That sets off the movie, and he chases them down for the whole movie. Like, there's no plot, right? Versus, at least slashers have the slimmest margin.
Be nice to strangers. That's the plot. That's the moral of the story. If you don't be nice to strangers, well, there might be a killer clown.
But didn't the movie Strangers teach us to be nice to strangers?
I haven't seen Strangers in so long.
That was the one where they break in the house and they tie everybody up with a slow knife in the belly.
Yeah, oh god, I fucking hate that scene. Yeah, and no, I don't think it did teach us to be nice to strangers because if anything, it just taught us to never let somebody near your door and always carry a gun.
That's fair.
All right, well, getting back to the games I was playing. No, that was the last game I played this week. I did
Where
actually
you at in
watch
Cyberpunk,
something.
by the way?
I didn't play too much more Cyberpunk. I got. Where'd I get to? I think I just did the first like mission after the prologue. I did not get very far. I played like one night of it, so like 2 hours.
So you beat the prologue.
I beat the prologue, and then I'm pretty sure I did because you go through the maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm in the prologue then.
Well, you said you met Jackie, right?
I just did the job for Dex to where I had to get the spider robot thing. That's the job I get. So I'm very early in.
Okay, you have not finished the prologue.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the prologue.
You are on your way though. So if you finish that mission where you get the spider bot, I believe that's the last piece that you need to go do like the big heist.
Oh yeah, because I did just do the whole like what do they call it? It's like a dance, like a mind dance. To where you go in and you find out the hotel like layout and stuff, and you go through the recording.
The brain dance.
Brain dance. Yeah.
Okay, and so you found the hotel layout. Okay, cool. So you are like right there. I am very interested. I'll probably talk to you about it this weekend. I'm very interested to talk to you about that ending of that prologue because, like I said, I
think I finished the prologue before I refunded it last time because I know that somebody dies.
Okay, but either way, while it's fresh in your brain, I'd still talk about it. I'm
probably finish it before I see it this weekend. So
that is the highest point of the game for me. So I'm very interested to.
Well, the whole prologue is the best part of the game because it's the only part that they promised. No, period.
Really?
It's the only part that they promised where your player has true choice in how to tackle something. Once you get past that all goes away.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's other missions, like, randomly, but it's not even... It's not the same
not to the level
choice that you get in this prologue. Like, it'll be like, oh, you know, I can jump over this fence and just go in guns, or I can sneak and hide. It's like that, but it doesn't actually give you the granularity that you can get in that prologue mission.
This phone call to the military, or don't make this phone call and do it yourself. Like, there's none of that stuff.
Yeah.
That comes,
since you're there, Preston, I will say I also think one of the higher points in that game is also in the prologue, But man, that montage scene with you and Jackie,
It's great.
when you guys are just like
Great.
running
It's wonderful.
like jobs
Yeah.
or whatever, and like there's that whatever that rap track is behind it or whatever, and you guys are just doing crimes and hanging out and being buds and doing whatever.
That was behind that, I think. Might have been.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why that fucking hit so well. Yeah. So, yeah, I remember playing that part, and I was like, oh damn.
I kind of wanted to play some of those montage parts, honestly.
Yeah. Well, yes, but it does do a. I do agree with that.
But they wanted to get you to that point.
It does
quickly,
like.
yeah.
It does do a really nice job, like setting the vibe and like doing these other things that you're like, oh damn, like I'm really ready to like keep going and like figure more of this stuff out.
Jackie, yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about it later. But man, it's
didn't get too far.
There are some side quests you should do too. Like there will be one where you somebody gets a hold of you and they start asking for you to boost cars, right? Kind of like the old Grand Theft Auto thing. Get a car and bring it to a garage. That quest line's pretty good. Like that's a side quest that's worth doing.
All right,
so
keep an eye out.
Do you have the DLC all attached to?
I think so. I think it was everything. If not, I'll probably get the DLC if I like it.
Okay.
I thought
somebody
you did. Purchased it.
Oh, hey, hold on.
Here,
I'm playing on Steam, so if you had it on Steam, then yeah, we're fine.
I thought you had it on Steam. I thought it was somebody purchased it.
Yeah, but remember, DLC doesn't go across the family share plan.
Oh, that's right. So I don't know. Probably not, but if I like it, I'll get the DLC for sure.
Yeah.
So far, I'm having a good time with it. So.
Let me ask you, since you haven't played many more games, Preston, but you often watch shows, and Christian mentioned the Alien thing. Have either of you watched the new Alien animated show?
You mean Predator?
Hulu? I'm sorry.
The
Predator,
answer is yes, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Naturally.
But yeah, no, I did see that. What was it? I put down Predator show. Is it Killer of Killers? Predator Killer. Yeah, Killer of Killers. Christian, you're gonna like this one. You know how we talked about Prey, and you're like, man, it'd be really cool if we could see this like in this era, in that era. This is a movie. I'm sorry, it's a movie, not a show. It's a movie that has about
You're right.
three eras that he goes into. So he goes into like Norse era, he goes into like Japanese Shogun era, and he goes into like World War I think it is, America kind of deal. And it's like the chapters are the shield, the blade, and the gun. And essentially, I'm not going to give anything away really, but it's really cool because you see this predator go into these three areas to hunt down to find like, an actual like worthy prey. And so they go through all three of these eras, showing you like how the predator dealt with it, how the people who were there, because there's always one person who's going to get the up and up on the predator. Otherwise, you're not going to watch it because it's just going to be everybody dying. But it's all those stories are really good. I thought the shield was really cool because it's this Viking lady and she has two fucking shields and both of them have like chunks missing on the front. So they're kind of like these crescent moon looking things, and she's fighting with those and like blocking and like hitting shit and like just taking people's heads off with that.
It's on Hulu. Yeah.
And
I like the blade. The blade, because the blade had a good story with the two characters
brother,
in that.
And everything like that.
That was great.
All those stories are really good.
I'll be watching this.
There's a stinger. There's a stinger at the end too, which asks interesting questions for the universe of Predator, which I thought was very cool to see what they could do.
This is separate from that thing that I saw that's like the Predator on his home world, right?
Yes, so that's going to be a movie in theaters. This is an animated movie done in the style of like Arcane.
Sick. Okay, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm.
It looks like it could be wrong. The live action.
Yeah, dude. Something about it.
I want to give it a chance. I want to give it a chance.
I will too. Because
we're getting like Predator lore, their homeworld and shit. Like that could be super fucking rad.
It could be cool.
No, I think it all looks super duper rad. But yeah, it's just, I think that movie could be cool because we're getting all that background lore. We're going to see all the rad shit that you're going to be able to see like on that world and all the designs they do for like the ships and the buildings and stuff like that. I think that'll be cool.
I don't know.
It has an opportunity to be fucking stupid, but we'll see.
I don't want to make it sound like I think it's going to be like bad, right? Because I don't know. It's just when I'm thinking about like what excites me about Predator or what was cool about Prey, right? Or what is cool about all three of the animated short scenarios that you described to me, I don't get that feeling in that movie. It feels like, you know what it is? It feels similar to Prometheus and all these other things, where it seems like it's trying to answer questions that I personally don't believe need to be answered.
You know what I think it's giving me vibes of? It's giving me the vibes of like Chronicles of Riddick compared to Pitch Black. Pitch Black was more like a horror, like you got Riddick in there, while Chronicles of Riddick gave you a lot more lore and showed you a lot more stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good, I think. I mean, both of those are kind of like not the greatest movies in the world, but they're a lot of fun. I really like Chronicles of Riddick.
I actually think those movies. I
like Chronicles of Riddick.
agree with you. I think absolutely you are 100%
I know
right
why
that
people
Pitch Black
didn't
is the
like it
better
as
one.
much. Yeah, it's not the greatest movie.
But I still think both those movies are good.
Yes. You're muted.
You're muted, Alex.
The space wizards were interesting in Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I liked Pitch Black.
Carl Urban in there too. Yeah.
So Christian, have you seen to like the alien piece, the alien, what is
Earth?
it, Alien Earth?
Mm-hmm. I saw a trailer for that.
That looks sick.
I'm interested.
But
Yeah.
that was, I think, like, I'm more optimistic now about alien stuff after Preston and I went
Sure.
to go see Andromeda, because it was
That was cool.
it was great. Isn't it? Am I wrong?
What?
The new Alien movie. What was it called? It's not Covenant. Alien Romulus.
No.
Romulus. I don't know why I
yeah.
thought Andromeda, but yeah, Romulus. That movie restored a lot of faith as far as
Sure. They
alien
can
stuff
do
is
it.
concerned, even though it is,
still do it.
kind of aping a little bit of like older alien
Sure.
stuff. I still think it's fucking so good. So I'm more excited about that.
The new Alien was odd. Was an interesting choice.
Sure,
but I
they
did
did
like
it.
the
They did
movie
it
as a
well.
whole.
I feel they did because they got like
Yeah.
somebody in a suit for it, so it looked fucking weird enough, not too.
Yeah,
CG-ish.
but with the Predator thing, it just like I don't know. I don't like. For me, and I feel this way about alien stuff too, is like you already know what you need to know. Like the way the Predator race works, the way that their home planet works, the way that they do things, all that stuff has been known. We know what it does. I don't need this in-depth thing into
I
their
don't necessarily
entire...
agree with that because like every movie or show that we've gotten for Predator has been the Predator comes to Earth, right? Except for like Predators, which like they had like 5 people dropped on the Predator planet and they're getting hunted there. But we didn't get a whole lot of like
that was bad.
yeah, that was
a
really
bad
bad.
movie.
That was really bad.
movie.
Walter Goggins has like the worst line in every movie and ever on that movie. So, but yeah, I think we didn't get a whole lot of lore. You just have that, and it's good to have that unknowing, right? It's good to have that. Hey, this alien race
Right.
just goes around hunting shit, trying to be the best predator around.
But they do it as a test, right? Like they go and they're going to try to prove that they're
it's
like,
their tribal
they're
like
bringing
coming
back...
of age thing. Like sure.
Yes, but then like with that much knowledge, I'm like, cool. I don't need to know
That's
anything
all
else.
you need to know.
I don't need to know like your in-depth society makeup and like this whatever systems you've got
curious.
going on
I'm
here.
curious.
I don't need to know what makes your like what's the any of this in-depth things about your planet. I'm cool.
So-
it's a warrior race that gets sent out to go kill things,
Can
and
I
they
give
are
you-
hunting the apex predators of whatever it is they're looking for. So whether that's us, whether that's the alien in AVP or whatever, right? Like, cool.
So
I'm down.
I'll say
like,
I'm actually opposite of you in that opinion in this one instance. So like the reason I like Alien is because it's a creature in space. So like you already got me with the space thing because I love space, right? But then
Yeah.
Alien from minute 1 is, in my opinion, a more fair fight because like it's sneaky and it's fast, but like you see it coming. Right. My problem with Predator has always been that like it's doing this test and stuff, but like it's the most high tech thing that gets dropped in, so it murks tens of people before anybody catches it because it's invisible. It has
not a
infrared
challenge.
vision. It's not a challenge. So I've always been bothered by that. So I find Predator boring, and it's more modern. So I also find that boring. But I would actually be more interested, like in my opinion, to give me something to care about. And I actually like the idea of exploring more of the world and the society because that gives me something to lean into.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Predator
problem is that
specifically.
anytime, and it's not true all the times, but anytime
Yeah.
somebody goes like again, like with Prometheus, where they're like, we're gonna answer all of these questions, and then they always come back dumber than you thought, and it was not. You're like,
Yeah.
you know what? I would have rather just not known. I would rather just wondered, because that's the thing is like. I agree. Again, I think we've talked about this before, but I think Alien and Aliens are like 2 perfect movies. So that everything after that, they keep trying to give you more things that you didn't ask for, and it just gets worse and worse and worse with each film. And it's why Romulus was so good, is because it doesn't do any of that stuff. And I also agree. I actually don't. I think Predator. Like, I know these two. Like, when we were all growing up in the '90s, like Predator and Alien were like always, Predator fans versus Alien fans was like it never, that kind of thing. I think Predator is absolutely a worse franchise than Alien. Like, that's just my opinion. But it's why I thought, to your point, Alex, it's why I thought Prey was such a good film, because the Predator did not have that massive technology boost. I mean, it obviously could go invisible and do these things, but like it was not the same level as it was like when, like especially during like when it was doing Alien versus Predator, where
they went hard on
the Predator might as well have been this walking like arsenal of all these different things that it had, that like, and that's the whole reason it was ignoring humans for the most part, because it's like, oh, I don't even see you guys as actual targets. Like, I'm looking for the alien right now, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I Predator for me is already on a slippery slope of like when I find it cool, and so then when it's like, oh man, here's its homeworld and here's how they all live, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I just want to see it be in a cool fight with something, and then see that whole thing. But again, I could be wrong. It could be very good, and I could be excited about it, because Prey was the first Predator film that I think I ever liked all the way. I mean, like, obviously I have watched all the other ones, and they were like fun, campy action movies or whatever, right? But like, I like those in the same way that I like, Rambo movies or whatever, where I'm like, if it's on, I'll look at it and go, oh, yep, there's that scene. But like, other than that, I'm not like going out of my way to own these movies or anything.
You'll like the animated movie. You should watch it.
Yeah, no, you really like
the way that Preston described that, I'm very interested.
Well, it's
in
exactly everything we
that.
wanted out of it after seeing Prey. It's like, oh, we want to see them do it like in Japanese Shogun era. I'm like, well, you're getting that. You're getting that in 3 different eras. So have fun. Enjoy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's one movie. It's good. It's a lot of good stuff. And then I didn't see a lot of trailers for this. I started seeing trailers for it, but it just said Hulu's like, all the seasons of the show are on Hulu. I'm like, okay, well, I already know that. No, The Bear dropped season 4, and I didn't know that they already have a season 4, so I went through and binged it all this past 4 or 5 days. And it's good. It's, hey, you can repeat everything I've said about the past couple seasons of The Bear. It's really well written. They're not sure if they're going to do season 5, so this could be the final season. The last episode is called Goodbye.
Does Carmi actually get his shit together finally? Because I don't know that I can do another season.
I'm not going to spoil the show because it's all about growth and stuff like that, and I know that both of you want to watch it, so watch it. Yes, there is a lot of character growth within almost all the characters. Yeah, probably all the characters.
Every character has grown since season 2, except for Carmi.
Yeah, and he does have growth in this season. So
do you feel like it's better than the first season?
No, none of them are better than the first season. To be fair,
not ours.
There are episodes in certain seasons that I like that could have been just as good as some of the episodes in the first season, but the first season was just a banger back to back. And this, you'll get episodes that are really good. As far as
do
on
you
that
feel like
level.
if it ends right now, will you feel satisfied?
Satisfied, no, but I'd be okay with it. So FX is leaving it up to the showrunner. I forget his name, but the guy who writes and directs it. They're like, if you want to do a season 5, you can do a season 5, but we're not going to make you do a season 5. So if you decide you want to do it, let us know. There are things that happen at the very end of the season that would make that show different, but you should watch it, and then we can talk about it. But yeah, overall it's good. I mean, there's a reason why there's 4 seasons. Great characters, great actors, great writing, great direction. Overall, a fun show to watch, which is why I binged it in like 3 or 4 days.
I'm just.
There's a lot of character growth for a lot of characters that you would not expect character growth. I think
the Bear. I say The Bear, and there's a show on Apple TV I love. I don't know if you guys seen it, called Slow Horses, with like Gary Oldman. It's more.
I watched a little bit of that. Yeah, it's like British Secret Service, but like a basement version of it.
they're the rejects. Yeah, they're people that have been like they haven't been kicked out of the Secret Service, but they've been kicked out of the main MI6.
I like Gary Oldman.
Those two shows are both great, but they're like doing something completely opposite of most streaming services that take 2 to 3 years to pop out a season. Like, I think
it's like every year.
Slow Horses is about to just shadow dropped or just announced that they're about to drop season 6, and it's like on an 8-month rotation, kind of like the Bear is too. Like it's less than a year, and they're just like cranking these shows out.
Yeah, same thing. I've been shrinking. So, but yeah, that is my week.
Nice.
Cool.
I'll go next. I've dabbled, but nothing crazy. So like I played a little bit more of Lies of P. I started that New Game Plus run. I was playing some of that. I did Yakuza, Pirate Yakuza. So I jumped back into that and played some of that one. I'm in chapter 3 on the edge of 4, I think. So I'm moving along that game. It's still really good. I'm trying to fight the urge to fall into like Yakuza games, which is all the stuff you can get, right? Like, here's a big collectible book of all the hidden treasure. Go get all the hidden treasure. And I'm trying to just be like, guys, I can't. Like, if I do it, I'm going to fall off for a little bit again and come back and fall off and come back. Like, I'm just trying to, like, mainline this story and see what it's about. I played I did the new title update for Monster Hunter Wilds. So Title 2 update came out today? Yesterday. I played some of that. So they dropped 2 new monsters, a lot of quality of life stuff, or performance stuff, not quality of life.
I hear great things about performance and frame rate.
I haven't seen any issues. Yeah, I haven't seen any issues. And in one fight, there's a new environment type fight that you do, which is, that's all I'll say about it, but it's interesting. Yeah, it is. It is underwater. So
I cannot believe they fixed it. I cannot believe they fixed it.
It's great. It's great. So yeah, I like the 2 new monsters. It's really, really good. I have to craft the 2 armor sets. I got 2 new weapons, and then I've done everything there is to do for Title 2 update. So then we can move on. But it's still a good game. We'll see what happens with the users. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on with this game where it's dropped to mostly negative. We'll see if that changes. It
was mostly performance-based issues people were having too, so it's nice that
it was, but we know the internet, right? Before the performance stuff started becoming a thing, it was people complaining there wasn't enough content, which is horseshit. But like, it's gonna be interesting to see how it rebounds. But yeah, I think the 2 monsters are very clever. I really enjoy them, and I'm excited about that. I feel like I played something else, but nothing is coming to mind right off the bat beyond the game we're going to talk about later this week. So, yeah, I think that was it for me. Just a lot of dabbling and playing. It
was like a couple
days.
Back
into Pirate Yakuza. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was even... So I just played Final Fantasy VI. Just chipped away at that. Yeah. That was it. Mm-hmm. It is still great. Nothing else to add. I'm still getting through it. I did forget to mention the last time in my playthrough trunk, but I did make it through suplexing a plane or a train. So I did do that.
Okay.
And it was exactly as silly as I wanted it to be.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Is 6 the Hollow Train or whatever?
The Phantom Train, yeah.
The Phantom Train? Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's a character that suplexes any enemy that's in front of him, and that was a train in that particular instance, and he does it, and it happens. So it was very cool. I think that the way that this game mechanically does like learning magic and stuff it's a lot like 9, so that's probably why I'm gonna say that I like it so much. But it is like all of the elements and magic are tied to the summons in this game, and when you attach them to a character, you then not only get to call in that summon to do whatever it does, but you will be getting all of the spells and magic that it would.
So you get Ifrit, you get fire magic.
Fire yeah, exactly, right. So you get like all of these things attached to it, but then even certain ones that you wouldn't really expect sometimes too.
So 8 kind of did that too, but like in a worse way somehow.
In a way worse way.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you?
Okay. All it says to me is that it's clear, and I sent you guys this article that maybe we'll do like a side quest about it one day. But Uematsu, the guy who does all the sound or has done all of the soundtracks historically for Square games, he talks about Square being in very bad shape after Sakaguchi left.
Sure.
And all that says to me is vindication, because
I mean, 14 still pulling in the money, but yeah.
So this pre-merger with Square Enix, right? So he's talking about Square, the company, before it became Square Enix. And so he was saying before the merger, after Sakaguchi left, he just felt like Uematsu said that he was actually dangerously close to quitting and going to work somewhere else, which is wild considering the work that we've gotten from him since then. Like, I don't know, that's wild. But he also, it looks like he was saying that, so he partnered with Sakaguchi on Fantation, a game that I had talked about previously. And it seems like he says, for right now anyway, that that's going to be the last soundtrack he ever does. Yeah. So it seems like the main composer going forward, most likely for Square Enix games, is probably going to be Soken. Which, hey, if there's one person I'm cool with you replacing Uematsu with, it's probably Soken. But it is also crazy that a guy who's had that heavy of a music career, as far as like creating themes that people will know for the rest of forever, that he's like, yeah, I think I'm done. That's it. I worked with Sakaguchi on this game, and I'm cool. I don't need to do any more
He's made a lot of
soundtrack,
music, a lot of video game music in his day. So he's
boy has
more than okay with him retiring.
But yeah, so I've just been playing that. It's cool. And that's really it. I mean, I played more Magic. I was trying to... I made my way back up to whatever is above... The rank I've only gotten one other time before. The Diamond, I think, or Platinum, whatever they call it. The second one from the bottom. Or the second one from the top. So I did that again. Still couldn't get out of it. I made it to like rank 2 of that, which is the highest I've ever gotten.
Because you refuse to play the game the way the game wants you to play.
Yeah, I can just keep playing with Lord of the Rings cards. Or now I've actually made an all Final Fantasy deck, and I've been playing with that one too. And that's been fun. And you know what? Hey, if I get second from the top using only cards that I think look cool, then I think that works for me. So I'm not too worried about it.
Once you're having fun, that's all that fucking matters.
Yeah. So, which I found out, it's not something that we need to get into at all, but I found out that that's like a huge point of contention with the Magic community, is like people who only
play for fun rather than play for like...
Yeah, dude, I guess, or like the people that only like the Universe Beyond stuff, or like some person I saw in a comment described me to a T, which is like, I don't, like, it's not that big of a, or I don't want to sound like I'm getting too angry about it, but like the kind of player that really pisses me off is either digitally or physically, where they only collect cards that they think look cool, and they only make decks out of those things, and they just refuse to look at or learn anything else. And I was like, damn, you literally just described me, and I hate that I live rent-free in your head like that, dog, but like...
You might as well just be screaming into the void, don't you dare have fun the way you want to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to comment. I didn't, because I'm not getting into arguments with these people, but I wanted to be like, lil bro, it's just cardboard. Yeah. It's gonna be okay. Like,
and sometimes in certain scenarios, it's not cardboard. It's just little digital cards that you don't.
Yeah,
really
sometimes
own,
it's even that, and that's okay. You don't need to be. It's not that deep. It doesn't need to go this far. You don't need to be that angry about it.
Card game.
I do understand that it might be upsetting to watch the prices skyrocket of a game that used to be extremely cheap. Comparatively to other TCGs,
it was affordable because the amount of cards people collected and everything else never made the hobby cheap. But it was affordable.
It was easier to, right? It was more affordable than before, right? But then like Lord of the Rings and Fallout, and now with the Marvel stuff, which I'm almost positive that's when we'll finally get Preston in there, so that he can start summoning Spider-Man decks. But like, I'm. Like, with all of that stuff, like I understand that it makes the prices, crazy, and we've been seeing it with the Final Fantasy thing. Like, it's crazy, but it's just, I don't know, man. Like, if just play the game you want to play. You don't have to buy any of those cards if you don't want to. It's going to be okay.
It's fine.
Like, those same packs that you like from those older sets that nobody cares about, quote unquote, that just means it's more for you, dog. So go live your life. It doesn't need to be this way.
Just let people have fun. Who cares? Nothing is that serious.
No.
Yeah.
Especially card games.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Don't forget to join us later this week as we dive into part 3 of our video game book club for Tomb Raider 1 Remastered. And yeah, if you don't listen to that, don't forget to check out Preston on the weekend as he does his
We're on Hoth
Sundays. We're on Hoth, so make sure you check out that. I always remember, Preston, that like I say that at the end of the book club, typically just because, again, peek behind the curtain, like the way we record these things. But I never remember to say it at the end of our normal episode.
That's
and
fine.
I have to realize not everybody listens to both. So
I
is
usually
that.
mention it in my week. I just forgot to mention my week, so I appreciate you putting it at the end of this.
You're welcome. So, all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. We'll be back with you next week. And with that, Preston, you know what to do.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or to check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If watching is more your thing, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestingroom, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testingroomlive. To leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod, leave a comment on YouTube, or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.